Parlays have a horrible reputation, so what I decided to do is in this video, I'm actually going to break down the math behind parlays in detail and also show you how you can get an edge on your parlays and win long term. So it's very common sports betting advice to hear that you should never bet on parlays. You'll hear this advice from experts all over TikTok, YouTube, and other social media platforms.
I understand we want to parlay and make more money, but you got to straight bet, bro. Listen, even if you can't just have your only bets out there being parlays, you're relying on too many outcomes to happen at the same time.
Last month I went 27-5. You can beat the sports, but you can't beat them with parlays. Parlays is they gonna will you in. They're gonna say, yeah, come turn this $10 into $500. They're gonna give you player props up front. Yeah, such and such gonna hit 3 threes. This person gonna hit 4 threes. Try this parlay. Now you put $10 on the parlay. They tell you to put nothing to win.
It's also completely true that sportsbooks make more money on parlays off the average customer compared to straight bets. This is referred to as hold percentage. So for example, this study says parlay hold percentage, which means the profit margin for sportsbooks, is roughly 30%. So the average customer betting $100 on a parlay, the sportsbook's going to take $30 from that person long term. So I want to be really clear. I'm not saying betting on parlays is easy. Anybody should do it. You really have to know the math and understand the strategy to get an edge and win long term. But at the same time, making money sports betting isn't easy. 90% of people, 97%, I apologize, of people, they're going to lose money sports betting long term. That's what keeps the books in business. So yes, it's completely true. Most people are going to lose money betting on parlays. That's how the sports books are in business, right? The typical customer loses money. However, you can absolutely make money betting on parlays with the right strategy. At the end of the day, parlays are just combinations of bets, right? You're pairing two straight bets together. So long story short, if you make money on straight bets long term, then I'm going to show you, which I'm not saying it's easy, 97% of people lose long term, is I'm going to show you how to make money on parlays. So before getting deep into the math behind parlays, which I'm going to prove to you that they can be profitable, let's go through the simple logic of making money on parlays. So let's say you have a positive 5% ROI on straight bets. For 2-leg parlays, you'll have roughly a 10% ROI. 3-leg parlays, 15%. Your edge compounds. Parlays are just a combination of bets. So you can see my parlay ROI last year in 2024 is actually higher than my straight bet ROI. Again, parlays are just combinations of bets. I had a 14% ROI on my parlays, 5% on straight bets in 2024. So if you're a profitable bettor, your ROI is actually going to be higher on parlays. But you got to remember, most people lose money sports betting, 97% of people. So negative edge also compounds. The typical sports bettor loses roughly 5% on their straight bets. So that means negative 10% on 2-leg parlays, negative 15% on 3-leg parlays, negative 20% on 4-leg parlays. So that math isn't perfect, but it gives you a rough idea. Parlays can absolutely be profitable. If you have an edge on your straight bets, you should be able to make money on your parlays. So one question a lot of people ask me is, why are you, Alex Monahan, why are you betting on so many parlays? And the main reason, is a lot of new sports books and fantasy books that are super exploitable, including Better Picks. I made over $60,000 on this book last year. They're parlay-only websites. So if you try on Better Picks to select only one play, aka a straight bet, they're going to tell you, hey, you need at least 2 picks to complete your entry. So I use these fantasy books like Better, Dabble all the time because they're super exploitable. But again, they're parlay-only books. So if you want to use them and you want to make money on them like I've done, you're going to have to bet on parlays. The second main reason that I bet on parlays is there's a lot of lucrative promos that are parlay only promos. Sportsbooks know that they make a killing off the average customer on parlays. They have a higher hold. So sportsbooks, they try to push people to bet on parlays by offering profit boosts, no sweat bets, other forms of promos that only work for parlays. And again, 97% of people lose money sports betting long term, and those people are going to get absolutely killed on parlays. But the purpose of this video, again, is to help you get into the 3% that's doing the opposite, making money betting on parlays. So the first two reasons I bet on parlays, some books are parlay only. Second reason, some books, have lucrative promos for parlays. And the third reason is, I don't know, they're fun, right? Like, we all know why people bet on parlays. It's fun to bet a small amount of money to potentially win a lot. So if you can bet on parlays profitably and have an edge and make money long term, what's better than that? Absolutely nothing, in my opinion. So now let's get deeper into the math behind parlays. So we're going to start out by going through the math on two-leg parlays where both legs are minus 110 odds. So minus 110 odds is the typical juice that sportsbooks charge on spreads and totals. You need to bet 110 to profit 100. So sportsbooks try to set their over-unders, their spreads, to be roughly 50-50, and then they're forcing you to bet $110 to win back 100 in profit. So any two-leg parlay where both bets are minus 110 is going to come out to plus 264. Parlay odds, they're not some magic formula that is meant to lose people money. It's very simple how sportsbooks calculate parlay odds, but any two-leg parlay where both legs are minus 110 is going to come out to plus 264. So when you're betting at minus 110, you're putting down 110 to win 100 in profit. You need to win above 52.4% of your picks to be profitable long term. So you'll hear about sharps, pro bettors winning on spreads and totals, 55% of the time, 60% of the time, which means they have a real edge. Right? Vegas sportsbooks are setting these over-unders to be roughly 50-50. So if you're winning 55% of your straight bets at minus 110, that means you're only losing 45%, winning 55, losing 45. You have a real edge. So again, when you're betting at minus 110, you're putting down 110 to profit 100. So you need to win 11 out of 21 plays to break even. That's 52.4%. That's your break-even win rate. So here you can see what your ROI will be based on what you can win on straight bets, right? 60%, 55%. So remember that winning 50%, losing 50% of your straight bets means you have no edge. Like a monkey could do that. You're basically blindly picking the over or the under, and that's most sports bettors. 97% of people, they don't have an edge over Vegas and they lose money long term. Most people don't have an edge. That's why the books are in business. And if you're winning your spreads and totals at minus 110, 50% of the time, you're going to have a negative 4.5% ROI on straight bets at minus 110 odds. That's most people. They lose about 5%, 4.5% on straights. Everything is about long-term ROI. If you gamble long enough, regardless of if you have an edge or not, you're going to be able to win 5 bets in a row. What's hard is winning 52.4% or more, the break-even win rate, winning maybe 55% year after year after year. So again, most people on straights, on totals, they're losing about 4.5% of their money because they're winning 50% of their plays, they're losing 50%. Everything is about win rate, right? With no real edge, betting on spreads and totals is kind of like flipping a coin where when you lose, let's say you pick heads, you lose $110. When you win $100. That's not a fair trade, right? You're going to get crushed long term because we know that coin is 50-50. However, again, sharp bettors are going to win on spreads and totals at minus 110 about 55% of the time, and that's going to yield a 5% ROI. You can see the math right here. So now let's kind of get into a two-leg parlay. Both legs are minus 110 odds, and that parlay comes out to plus 264 odds. So again, on spreads and totals, most sports bettors aren't profitable. They're winning each leg 50% of the time. So the probability they win both legs is 25%. 50% on the first leg, 50% on the second leg. Everything boils down to win rate when you're betting on parlays. What that means is with no edge, you're winning 50% of your picks, you're going to have a negative 9% ROI on two-leg parlays. 25% of the time you're going to hit and win 264. 75% of the time, assuming your unit size is $100, you're going to lose. You're going to lose $100. And again, you can see the math right here on the screen. So most people lose money sports betting. Doesn't matter straights or totals. So they're going to lose even more on parlays on an ROI percentage. It goes from 4.5% to 9%. So to be profitable betting on parlays, you need both picks in your parlay to have an edge, to be profitable. When we're talking about minus 110 odds, that means winning above 52.4% of the time, the break-even win rate. So a sharp bettor who's winning on straight bets, over-unders, minus 110 odds, 55% of the time, right? Their ROI on straight bets is going to be positive 5%. We've already gone through the math. So for 2-leg parlays, they're hitting both legs 55% of the time. There's going to be a 30.25% chance they cash their 2-leg parlay, right? So it changes from 25% to 30.25%. So for 2-leg parlays, a sharp bettor who's winning each bet 55% of the time, the ROI is going to be 10.1%. And again, you can see the math here on the screen. So long story short, the point of saying all this is betting on parlays is actually very simple at the core. If both of your bets have an edge, you're winning above the break-even win rate, you pair them together, that parlay is going to be profitable. So obviously, we've only gone through examples of a 2-leg parlay where both legs are minus 110 odds, but for 3-leg parlays, it gets even more interesting. I've kind of said this before. For profitable bettors, their ROI is going to go up. For unprofitable bettors, it's going to go down. So for an unprofitable bettor with no edge, they're winning each leg 50% of the time. They're going to hit 12.5% of their 3-leg parlays. 3-leg parlays where each leg is plus 595, or where each leg is minus 110, come out to plus 595. So the ROI is going to be negative 13% for most sports bettors, unprofitable bettors. And that's obviously very bad. Now for a sharp bettor winning 55% of their picks, their ROI is going to go up even more to roughly 16%. And again, you can see the math here on the screen. So one thing I just wanted to mention is it's going to be really hard to know. Are you profitable? Are you unprofitable? Are you winning your straights or totals above 52.4% of the time? If you're not tracking your bets, everything in this video is about consistently winning long term. So again, I highly recommend using a bet tracker because you need to see a large sample size, thousands of bets to determine, am I profitable? Am I not profitable? So long story short, you definitely can make money betting on parlays. We just went through the math. If you're winning on spreads and totals above 52.4% of the time, then your parlays are also going to be profitable when you're betting on spreads and totals. It's not easy to do. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it's also not complicated. If every bet in your parlay has an edge, then your parlay is going to have an edge, right? If you're profitable betting on straight bets and you pair them together into a parlay, your parlays are going to be profitable long term. Everything boils down to break-even win rate. So I know the parlays that we went through, we use simple math, minus 110 odds, because that's standard juice. But here you can see a parlay I locked in and gave out on Twitter. The first leg of the parlay was minus 140 odds. So when you're betting at minus 140 odds, you're betting 140 to win 100. So you need to win 14 out of 24 bets to break even, which is 58.3%. So you can use a break-even win calculator. OddsJam has one to see when I'm betting at this price, what percentage of bets do I have to win to break even? So for minus 140, it's 58.3%. So long story short, if you're winning your bets at minus 140 above 58.3%, you're going to be profitable long term. So if a bet is priced at minus 140 and it's winning 60% of the time, 65% of the time, it's going to be a profitable bet, whether it's as a straight bet or whether you're including it in a parlay. So if you parlay that with another bet, the other bet's profitable, winning above the break-even win rate, then the parlay is going to be profitable. The parlay is going to be winning above the break-even win rate. So what I wanted to go through is, why did I lock in this bet at minus 140? And the answer is simple, because I thought it was winning above 58.3% of the time. And why did I think that? Well, you can see on Fliff, I'm getting this at minus 140. Other sports books, including really, really sharp sports books like BetOnline, had this over as a much bigger favorite. BetOnline had this over priced at minus 175. So what you can do is you can take other sportsbooks markets and plug it into a fair odds calculator, which just removes the juice or the vig. And you can see, according to BetOnline, they have the over as a much bigger favorite. This play is winning 60% of the time. So this bet's profitable. So his over at minus 140 has an edge according to BetOnline's market. I'm getting this at minus 140. BetOnline had the over as a much bigger favorite at minus 175. So clearly I'm getting pretty good value on this play. Fliff was a big line discrepancy and minus 140 was great value. I'm winning above 58.3% in my opinion, right? And according to other sportsbooks, so this bet's profitable. I could have run it as a straight bet. I could have run it in a parlay. It would have been profitable regardless, but I paired it with another plus EV pick, another profitable bet where I thought I was winning above the break-even win rate. So I thought the parlay was plus EV, and that's how I get my parlay results. But what I wanted to do is specifically go through an example for one of these fantasy books, parlay-only books, which is called Dabble. Dabble's a book that last year I made over 30 grand on Dabble. It's super exploitable. And the way that Dabble works is they give you a 6x payout on any 3-pick entry. Betting 100 to win 600. So long story short, you need to win a 1 out of 6 of your Dabble plays to break even, right? If you win your first one, you win 500, then you lose the next 5, you break even. 500. Long story short, your break-even win percentage is 1/6 or 16.7%. So if you can win your Dabble 3-pick entries at a 6x payout above 16.7% of the time, 20%, you're going to be profitable. If you can only win them 12% of the time, you're going to be unprofitable long-term. Everything's about long-term ROI, and Dabble's a book I've consistently beat. So to win 16.7% on your Dabble 3-mans, you need to win each individual pick in your Dabble entry above 55% of the time. We can just back it out. So you need a real edge, right? You need to win above 55% of your picks on Dabble to be profitable long term. So if you can win 60% of your individual picks, that means you're going to win your Dabble 3-mans 21.6% of the time. You're going to be profitable. Now again, that seems easy, but you need a real edge. Right? Like most people are going to win their over-unders 50% of the time and get crushed long term. You can see the math breakdown here. If you can pick these over-unders correctly, Dabble setting them to be roughly 50-50. If you can only win them 50% of the time, your over-unders, you're going to get crushed. So what I do is compare Dabble to sportsbooks like FanDuel. So for example, take Obi Toppin. I bet him over 7.5 points. And whether I take his over or his under on Dabble, it's a fixed payout site, I get the same payout. So the reason I thought this pick was winning above 55% of the time and was profitable is you can see every sports book like FanDuel, they all had the over heavily favored. So comparing these fantasy books like Dabble, these parlay-only sports books, directly to other books like FanDuel and DraftKings make it easy to find picks winning above 55% of the time on Dabble that are profitable in a Dabble 3-man. So I compare fantasy books, parlay-only sports books like Dabble, better picks, directly to sports books. That's how I find value. So it's very mathematical, a data-driven approach. I simply follow the data. And Dabble has thousands of lines up, tens of thousands of lines at any given time. They're trying to set these lines to be roughly 50-50, but everybody makes mistakes. Every sportsbook makes mistakes. So I'm simply capitalizing on the inefficiencies in the market. You know, as sharp bettors, we're looking for those rare few spots. In this case, it was top-end points where there's an actual edge. Right? Like I'm looking for the few rare spots on Dabble where they have a lineup when either the over or the under is heavily favored. It's all math, it's all data. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment other video ideas. I love making sports betting content. This video, we really went deep into the math behind parlays. I'm happy to answer any questions, comment them below, and thank you so much for your time.